Welcome back to Business English Desk, the podcast where we make English fun, practical, and honestly, just way more useful than any textbook ever could be. I'm Laura.
And I'm Jamie, and if you're new here, oh my gosh, welcome. We are so glad you found us.
Seriously, hit that subscribe button right now so you never miss an episode. It takes like 2 seconds and it means the world to us.
Okay, so Laura, today's topic, I feel like this one is personal for a lot of people.
It really is. So today we're talking about healthy eating during Ramadan, specifically how to build a smart suhoor, a balanced iftar, and how to actually have energy during the day instead of just surviving.
Surviving, honestly, that's been me. First few days of fasting, I am a zombie.
Same. And you know what the crazy thing is? It's not even the fasting itself that makes you tired. It's the food choices.
Oh, that is such a good point.
Like, if you eat a mountain of fried food at iftar and then crash into bed, guess what? Suhoor is miserable, your whole day is miserable.
And you're just lying there at 2 p.m. like, why is life like this?
Exactly. So today we're going to fix that. We've got vocabulary, tips, real talk, and even a little challenge at the end.
Let's go.
Okay, so let's start at the very beginning of the fasting day. Suhoor. S-A-H-U-R. For our listeners who might not know, suhoor is the pre-dawn meal, the meal you eat before the fast begins.
And a lot of people skip it.
Right. Why do people skip it?
Because it's like 4 in the morning and your bed is warm and your alarm goes off and you're like, nope, not today.
I feel so seen right now. But here's the thing. Skipping suhoor is one of the biggest mistakes you can make.
Big mistake. Huge.
Because suhoor is literally your fuel tank for the entire day. If you don't fill it up, you're going to run on empty.
So what actually happens to your body when you skip it?
Okay, so, and this is useful vocabulary too, listeners, you get dehydrated. That means your body doesn't have enough water. You get fatigued. That means really tired, like bone tired. And you can get headaches from low blood sugar.
Ooh, not a fun combo.
Not at all. So, rule number 1, eat suhoor, even if it's small, even if you're half asleep.
Eat it with your eyes closed if you have to.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about what to eat at suhoor.
Yes, because there's a huge difference between a good suhoor and a bad one.
Okay, so the golden word here is protein. P-R-O-T-E-I-N. Protein keeps you full for longer. It slows down digestion. It gives you steady energy.
What are some protein foods?
Eggs, classic, Greek yogurt, beans, peanut butter, even a handful of nuts.
I am a huge eggs guy at suhoor, like 2 boiled eggs, done.
Yes, and pair that with complex carbohydrates like oats, whole wheat bread, brown rice. These give you what we call slow-release energy.
Ooh, slow-release energy. Say that slowly for our listeners.
Slow-release energy. That means the energy comes out gradually through the day, not all at once and then crash.
As opposed to eating a donut and feeling amazing for 20 minutes and then feeling like you need a nap.
Yes, that's fast-release energy. Sugary stuff, white bread, sweet drinks, they spike your energy and then drop it hard.
Spike and crash. Good phrase.
Spike and crash. Write that down, listeners. My energy spiked after the sugary drink, but then it crashed by midday.
Perfect sentence. Okay, what else?
Fruit for vitamins, some vegetables if you can manage it at 4 a.m.
That's commitment.
And most importantly, water. You want at least 2 to 3 glasses at suhoor. But here's the key. Drink slowly.
Because chugging a liter of water at 3:45 a.m. is not the move.
It is not the move. Drink slowly, let your body absorb it. Absorption. A-B-S-O-R-P-T-I-O-N. That means when your body takes in and uses the water.
Love that word.
Okay, flip side, what not to eat at suhoor?
The danger zone.
The danger zone. Okay, number 1, salty food.
Ooh, why salty?
Because salt makes you thirsty, and if you're thirsty and you can't drink for the next 14 hours, that's a rough day.
So chips, salty crackers, pickles, all in no?
Save them for after iftar. Number 2, fried food.
Fried chicken at 4 a.m.?
I know it sounds good in theory, but imagine eating a plate of fried food and then trying to focus at work at 10 a.m.
Heavy, sleepy, uncomfortable.
Exactly. And number 3, sugary cereals, sweet drinks, and pastries. Remember, spike and crash.
Right, you want lasting energy, not a sugar rush.
Listeners, let's do a quick repeat after me for vocabulary.
I love this part.
Protein keeps me full longer.
Protein keeps me full longer.
Complex carbohydrates give slow release energy.
Complex carbohydrates give slow release energy.
I drink water slowly to help absorption.
I drink water slowly to help absorption.
Perfect.
Okay, can we talk about iftar now? Because this is the moment everyone has been thinking about all day.
All day long. You're like, just 5 more hours, just 4 more hours.
The last hour before iftar is intense.
It really is. And here's something I think a lot of beginners don't realize. The way you break your fast matters just as much as the fast itself.
Tell 'em, Laura.
So the classic, traditional way to break your fast is with dates and water, and there's real wisdom in this.
Why dates specifically?
Dates have natural sugar, not processed sugar, natural sugar, that raises your blood sugar levels gently and quickly. They're easy to digest, they don't shock your system.
So your body wakes up slowly instead of wham!
Exactly. Think of it like warming up a car engine. You don't just floor it from zero.
Great analogy.
So, dates and water first. Then what?
Soup.
Soup, yes. Warm, gentle, easy on the stomach. Lentil soup is a classic. Chicken vegetable soup, tomato soup.
Soup is like the perfect transition food.
It really is. And then your main meal. And this is where a lot of people go wrong.
The pile everything on the plate moment.
Yes, you've been fasting all day, you're hungry, everything looks amazing, and suddenly your plate looks like a buffet.
I have been guilty of this.
We all have. But here's a simple framework. Divide your plate into sections. Half of it, vegetables. 1/4, protein. Grilled chicken, baked fish, eggs, beans. 1/4, whole grains, like brown rice, quinoa, whole wheat bread.
Balanced plate. That's the phrase, right?
Balanced plate. And eat slowly. Chew properly. Don't rush.
Why slowly?
Because it takes your brain about 20 minutes to register that you're full. If you eat fast, you eat way more than you actually need.
So slow eating equals less overeating.
Exactly. And you'll feel so much better for Taraweeh prayer afterwards. Because nobody wants to stand in prayer feeling like they ate a whole sheep.
Laura! Just saying, it's real.
Okay, let's talk about water, because this is something people really underestimate.
You can't drink during the day, so it all has to happen in a window.
Right, so here's a simple water plan. Ready?
Ready.
1 glass when you break your fast at iftar, 1 glass after Maghrib prayer, 1 glass after dinner, 1 glass before you sleep, 2 glasses at Suhoor.
That's 6 glasses spread out through the evening and morning.
6 to 8 glasses total, and the key word is spacing. S-P-A-C-I-N-G. Spread them out. Don't drink them all at once.
Because chugging 6 glasses right before bed is not helping anybody.
Not at all. And a pro tip, herbal tea counts too. Chamomile, mint tea, they're caffeine-free, they help digestion, and they help you sleep.
Ooh, I did not know that.
Yes. Speaking of what not to drink, soda. I know, but soda at iftar is a trap. It feels refreshing in the moment, but the sugar and carbonation actually make you more thirsty later.
So you drink a soda and then you're even thirstier. It's a cycle.
A vicious cycle. If you want something with flavor, add lemon or mint to your water. Natural, refreshing, no sugar crash.
Okay, so here's the thing. All of this sounds great in theory, but in real life, you're tired, you're hungry, it's 7 p.m., and you haven't decided what to cook yet.
And suddenly you're ordering fried food.
Exactly.
So this is where meal planning comes in. And I want to give our listeners a really powerful sentence. Are you ready?
Ready.
Ramadan becomes easy when you plan before you feel hungry.
Ooh. Say it again.
Ramadan becomes easy when you plan before you feel hungry.
That's so true. Hungry decisions are bad decisions.
Hungry decisions are always bad decisions. So the idea is once a week, sit down and write a simple meal list. Monday Suhoor, oats, boiled eggs, banana. Monday Iftar, lentil soup, grilled chicken, salad, and so on.
And then you shop for exactly that.
Smart grocery shopping, not emotional grocery shopping.
What's emotional grocery shopping?
When you go to the store hungry and you come back with 5 boxes of sweets and a bag of chips and somehow no vegetables.
I feel personally attacked right now.
We've all done it. So the rule is make your grocery list before you go. Stick to it. Focus on oats, eggs, yogurt, whole wheat bread, lean protein like chicken and fish, fresh vegetables, fruit, beans, lentils, dates in small amounts.
And limit the fried snacks, processed food, and sugary drinks.
Limit, not never, because let's be real.
Life is short.
Life is short, which brings me to the 80-20 rule.
Ooh, what's that?
Eat healthy 80% of the time, allow yourself small treats 20% of the time. You don't need to be perfect every single day for 30 days. You just need to be consistent.
Consistency over perfection. That's such a good mindset.
Write that down. Consistency over perfection.
Okay, let's talk about that 2 p.m. wall. You know the one.
Oh yes, the 2 p.m. slump.
Your energy just disappears.
It just leaves the building. Okay, so a few things help with this. First, the big one, your suhoor choices. If you had protein and complex carbs in the morning, you'll feel way more stable mid-afternoon.
Versus the sugar crash.
Second, short breaks. Even 5 minutes of light walking or stretching can boost your energy.
Movement creates energy. That sounds counterintuitive, but it's true.
It really is. Third, if you can manage it, a power nap. 15 to 20 minutes in the afternoon is a game changer.
A power nap. Such a good English phrase.
Power nap, a very short sleep that gives you energy fast. I took a power nap and felt completely refreshed.
Beautiful sentence. What about common mistakes? What do beginners do wrong?
Okay, biggest one, overeating at Iftar.
Because you're so hungry.
I get it, but then you feel heavy and sleepy and you can't focus on anything. Eat moderate portions. Eat slowly. Stop before you feel completely full.
What's the word? Moderation?
Moderation. M-O-D-E-R-A-T-I-O-N. It means not too much, not too little. Balance. Moderation is key in Ramadan.
Second mistake?
Okay, staying sedentary all day. Sedentary, S-E-D-E-N-T-A-R-Y, means not moving, sitting or lying down for long periods.
So don't just lie on the couch all day feeling sorry for yourself.
Light movement actually helps. A short walk after iftar, some light stretching, it keeps your digestion moving and your energy up.
Third mistake?
Skipping water. People drink 1 glass at iftar and then nothing until suhoor. Then they wake up with a headache and they're like, why do I feel terrible?
Dehydration headaches are the worst.
The worst. So space out your water. Drink consistently through the evening and morning.
Okay, I love that we always give our listeners something actionable. So, challenge time?
Yes, challenge time. Okay, listeners, here is your 7-day healthy Ramadan challenge. 7 days, 7 small goals. Are you ready?
Hit it.
Okay, day 1, drink enough water. That's it. Just focus on hitting 6 glasses between iftar and suhoor.
Simple. Doable.
Day 2, no fried food at iftar. Just for 1 day. You can do it.
1 day.
Day 3, add 1 fruit to your suhoor. An apple, a banana, some berries, whatever you like.
Easy upgrade.
Day 4, add 1 vegetable to your iftar plate. A salad, steamed broccoli, cucumber, doesn't matter.
Getting more colorful.
Day 5, take a 15-minute walk after iftar. Not a run, a walk. gentle movement.
Love it.
Day 6, swap one sugary drink for water with lemon or mint.
That one's powerful.
Day 7, eat slowly and mindfully. No phone, no TV, just focus on your food. Chew properly. Be present.
Mindful eating. That's such an important concept.
Mindful, it means being fully aware and present. When you eat mindfully, you eat less, you enjoy it more, and you feel better.
Small steps make big changes.
Small steps make big changes. Say it with us, listeners. Small steps make big changes.
Okay, let's recap what we covered today because we packed a lot in.
We did. Okay, Suhoor is your fuel. Eat protein, complex carbs, fruit, and drink water slowly.
Avoid salty food, fried food, and sugary stuff at Suhoor.
Break your fast gently, dates and water first, then soup, then your main meal.
Eat slowly. Control your portions. Aim for a balanced plate.
Hydrate strategically. Spread your water across the evening and morning.
Meal plan in advance so you're not making hungry decisions.
Use the 80-20 rule. Consistency, not perfection.
And take the 7-day challenge.
Yes. Drop a comment and tell us which day of the challenge are you starting with. We want to know.
And if this episode helped you, share it with someone who's fasting this Ramadan. That's the best gift you can give.
Aw, that's so sweet, Jamie.
I have my moments.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for spending this time with us at Business English Desk. We genuinely love making these episodes for you.
Keep learning, keep growing, keep eating that balanced Suhoor.
And we will see you in the next one. Bye.